As I'm sure many have heard by now, in January 2025, archaeologists verified the existence of ancient Incan tunnels underneath the city of Cuzco in Peru. I put that in quotes because the truth is, these tunnels were written about in the original Spanish accounts from almost 500 years ago. In addition to that, local cultures, the descendants of the Inca, have been speaking about these chicanas or tunnels for generations. Well, this is a snippet of a conversation I had with Brien Foerster in January of 2024, a full year before news of this verification came out. And he describes how in the 1980s, an archaeologist had already confirmed that these tunnels were in existence. It's an interesting story, so I'm just going to let him tell it.
Have there currently been tunnels discovered here in Cuzco or Tiwanaku? Have there entrances or things of that nature that you've come across?
Yeah, they found one. It was a Spanish archaeologist who went to, I think, the Bishop of Cusco. He went to the Coricancha and talked to the bishop in the late 80s, I think, and he said, I've heard stories that there's a tunnel underneath this building. Can I have access to it? And the bishop said, okay, like he allowed him to do that. They found two spots where they could like take the tile off and then go. Then they found two staircases that went down to what looked like a megalithic tunnel. And he was able to take, I think, 2 photographs or something. And then word went back to the Vatican that had been done. And the bishop was like fired on the spot, I think. And then the Queen of Spain found out about it, and she just totally freaked, because, the elite knew about all this stuff,
right,
but they've been trying to cover it up. So, I know that what he was able to do at around the same time as they took either a helicopter, probably a helicopter, they had some kind of ground penetrating radar device on the bottom of the helicopter, and they were able to find a tunnel that went from the Coricancha to a point in Sacsayhuaman, like a straight line.
Wow.
So like 1.5 miles long.
Which is exactly what was found in 2025.
With shafts in 5 or 7 of the major pre-Inca structures along the way there, connecting to his tunnel system. And I've been into the entrance of one of those. But again, this is what the local people say, that there are tunnels. So why shouldn't we believe them?
Yeah. What do you think the tunnels were utilized for?
That's a good question. Probably somewhere for moving water around. And then later used to to hide things and hide stuff. So there's another story that goes that when the Spanish entered Cusco and they started pilfering all of the gold artifacts, they were only able to carry so much with them, because it was only a small contingent of, I think, 10 of the conquistadors went down from Cajamarca, which is their base, to Cusco, and then were able to take like sheets of gold from the Sun Temple in the Coricancha up back to Cajamarca for the ransom of Atahualpa. But then when they were gone, supposedly the Inca took all the rest of the artifacts and he
hid them away.
Yeah. And then backfilled the tunnel so that they would never find them again. Because they thought, the logic was, well, if we hide this stuff, there's no reason for them to ever come back, because we've hidden the thing that they're hungry for. But then, of course, what happened was the Spanish decided that property and people were the next thing.
Also, in my conversation with Brien, he touched on ancient tunnels underneath the city of Tiwanaku in the Lake Titicaca region of Bolivia. And about 15 years or so ago, independent researcher Antonio Portugal Alavizuri and his team discovered the entrance to one of these tunnels based on the testimony and directional guidance of a local farmer.
A local farmer told us that we could find the chincana there. Even I could not see the signs of it. To be able to open the entrance, he told us that we have to dig until we come across the slab.
Ironically, the way Al-Vizuri describes this stone slab guarding the entrance to this chicana or tunnel is incredibly similar to the way the original Spanish accounts describe some of the entrances to the tunnels in Cuzco.
We worked hard until we came across a slab, or stone door, was around 2 meters by 250, too heavy for only 3 persons. Fortunately, the slab had 4 handles.
So just putting all of this together, we have independent Spanish accounts, we have generational testimonies from descendants of the cultures that lived in these regions, and we have independent research, all that indicates the existence of these tunnels. And it took decades for archaeologists to verify these tunnels in Cuzco. And one could argue it took longer than that. But is it going to be the same case with some of these other accounts? I hope not, because who knows what could be found in these tunnels and the clues to our past that they might reveal. And don't worry, I'm working on the full-length version of my interview with Brien, so that'll be coming out soon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to stay up to date with the release of that video and the others I've been working on. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.